Hey, buddy.
What's up, man?
The people like the cold opens.
I think most of the time, yeah. I don't think we've done a bad one yet. We've only done a couple, but
Well, I got one for us today.
okay.
I called a friend of mine who made a theme song for us.
That's the last thing we needed is a theme song.
And I don't want to brag. It's Danny Cherokee. Danny Cherokee.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't want to brag because
Danny Cherokee of Danny Cherokee and the No Good Big Bad Jazz Band.
Not.
They're working on their fourth album. It's My Brass. Ever heard of it?
Not in the. That's not real. And no. And
It's real.
Kiss My Brass is the fourth album.
Yeah.
So we had 3 chances to stop this.
Well, they did a theme song for us, so we have to be nice. But
Why
they're
would,
awesome.
I already don't want to hear this theme song. I already. Okay.
That.
Is that Matt Jones?
This is their third album, Let's Get Sexual, and this one was in stereo. And they made our theme song.
Go.
Okay, so this is just called Catechin Theme by Danny Cherokee and the No Good Big Bad Jazz Band and Friends.
We started this part just talking about ball, Big Blue Nation. We answer the call, drop it, takes, drop it means keep it wild, keep it loose. Bit wheel spin, then the jokes break it loose. We love what we do, we ain't slowing it down. We're big as you can show that ain't on the dial. But we got a secret, it's time that we tell. Been keeping it quiet, but what the hell with that? Raven is gay, and that's okay. Still dropping dimes just like behind. Now, old folks are once down. Music guys who love ball and balls. It's cool with us. Reading the cuts, but I can do but ain't changed a thing. He's still in the crew. He's talking hoops. He's kissing dudes in the group chat, talking that smack. Just now with a little more rainbow swag. No else for the rewriting with pride. Still breaking it down, still picking a side.
That might actually be Matt Jones. Is he one of the friends? Anyways, shout out to Danny Cherokee and the No Good Big Bad Jazz Band friend.
Oh man! As soon as
It might be a little long.
It's a lot of long. Yeah, no, for sure.
I told them no scatting.
Big Blue till today we're gone. Waiting just texting new guys till dawn. So hit that like, hit that sub for lucky hoops and unconditional love. The tapes stay hot, the vibes stay tight. Rating still swiping on views every night.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Super accurate.
Thank you, Danny Cherokee, and his, No Good Big Bad Jazz Band and friends.
You can't have and. That's not. It's either and friends or the jazz band.
You can when you're Danny Cherokee. But yeah, that's going in. I mean, obviously that's the new theme. So
yeah, I mean it's gonna get old. We might want to put new announcements in every week. Like I can't just say I like boys all the time. People they get it, It's kind of like, all right, well, you have your moment, right? That's celebration going on here. So
I liked it. Thank you, Danny Cherokee, and let's do a show.
Let's go.
Another one. Jared, did we get Danny Cherokee booked for the pod?
Oh yeah,
the Danny Cherokee.
The very same. It's the Catechin. Hey guys, serious question. Do you smell something weird when we play?
I do.
That's because Mark Pope's the shit. Fellas, Kentucky wins 75-64. How are we feeling?
Really good.
Great.
Man. Well, I mean, resilient. What a good win. Hope Lamont's okay, but other than that, like, about as much as you could ask for. Like, just get another top 5 win. No big deal.
Mark Pope is a dropout of an Ivy League medical school. I think Lamont's going to be fine. Work some of his magic. It also seems that Mark Pope absorbed Tony Bennett over, last weekend or whatever, because we were playing some hardcore defense, some in-your-face dudes just banging defense, and it was beautiful to watch. Also, Trent Noah. I mean, I feel like people were saying this is going to be a come out game for him as a joke because he's the mountain man and everybody hates the Vols, but he did it, and it was fun to watch.
I just want to know which Kentucky win over Tennessee Nate Emmett liked better in the last 2 weeks, at Tennessee or at Kentucky. And I mean, it feels great. Tennessee's a really good team. Their defense is awesome. I think even after this, they're the number 1 defense in the country. But man, it's fun to have our defense look good against a team that we said isn't a flamethrower offensively, but Chaz Lanier can be, and to hold him 0 for 7 from 3 again is nice.
If you only watched Tennessee play us, you would seriously question if they were actually a top 5 team. But basketball is a game of matchups. I thought of that just now, and boy, do we match up with them really well. And yeah, like you guys were saying, the freaking Mountain Mamba. He's the Mountain Mamba. Kobe Brea down the stretch, unbelievable. The guys really scrapped it together after the Lamont thing. Get well soon. But a top 5 win after everyone was writing us off.
Well, Jackson not even playing, man. We even talk about that.
Yeah,
Jackson
Mark Pope ain't right back.
The other interesting thing is Tennessee looked pretty good in between when we played them and now. I mean, they held Florida to 44, won that one by 20. That was in Knoxville. Then scored, I think, their season high against Missouri, and then held Oklahoma to 52 points. So it's not like Tennessee's been playing really well, except against us here, and that's kind of neat.
I don't think that they even played bad. I think it was a really good game. It was just, it was very. I mean, it just wasn't the same style of play that we're used to seeing, where we're pressing really hard on the guards. But then also letting them, we were letting them take threes and they were refusing to take them. But we hit some big threes. I mean, we hit 12 threes, right? That's ridiculous. But it didn't feel like that was our game plan. We just took them when we could. We were doing very well against their very, very physical, pressured defense. And there was quite a few players that made plays against it, which was really nice to see. We didn't have to lean on one person, and I think that really is the main Mark Pope offense thing, right? Where you can kind of have a system go instead of just rely on a dude. So yeah, it was a different type of game, but now we've got 2 of them in the books against that ugly ass Orange.
I like what you say about the system, because with Lamont being out, it doesn't hurt you as much on offense because of it running through Amari or BG or Andrew Carr. But on defense, I mean, we just saw how much of a game changer he was tonight. So that one is a little bit, because the defensive drop off from anyone to Lamont, from Lamont to anyone is steep, but to go from Lamont to Travis Berry, I mean, those are just 2 completely different players, and you can't expect Travis to bring what Lamont does defensively.
No, but I think to the point, like with the system, I mean, the biggest difference between this game and even losing like at Ole Miss, like but getting 6 threes between Noah, Garrison, and Perry, that's the difference between that game, and that's the difference in this game. I mean, that right there alone, I mean, we can make it pretty simple. That's 18 points. That makes all the difference in the world. I think, Perry hitting, I mean, just the 5 between, it just hits a little different when it's the Kentucky kids. Like, Ruff loves it, and it's my favorite thing in the world, how crazy they go for it. But they legitimately made the difference in the game today, so that was awesome to see. They were ready for the moment.
Honestly, probably a good game to have a big commit in town or a big recruit in town for, because with the Kentucky guys going off, there were a ton of crowd pops. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
atmosphere was great anyway. It always was going to be for a top five Tennessee team in Lexington, but especially, you know how Rupp reacts to those guys when they hit threes,
I love it.
Now,
especially that
is
being like what he does. I mean, we shot a decent amount. We hit 12 for 24 again. I think that's the same number from the first Tennessee game. And it's fun when it clicks like that offensively.
I wonder what the pregame video package was like, because they commented on it on TV, and there was what's the player, he his dad even was writing on Twitter saying like, this was unbelievable video package before the game tonight. Why am I blanking on his name? He's our point guard next year.
okay.
Caden Lewis.
Yeah, Kane Lewis, his dad was tweeting out about how amazing the video package was, and the full production of the show tonight. So that must have been pretty cool. Seems like they pulled out the stops for Nate Ament. So I mean,
Yeah.
it probably comes down to dollars and cents, but it certainly can't hurt that
Yeah,
that
right.
Rupp was buzzing.
Do you think he's worried about playing time with Trent Noah?
No.
Why not date him?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he honestly, like, I've been like intrigued by Trent Noah and in the Mark Pope system or whatever, big 3-and-D type dude, and he's just gonna get bigger. I mean, he's got baby face, right? He's like he's got a growth spurt or some skeletal, growth to go.
Nice.
And so I was intrigued, but then to see him really just like, I mean, he's hitting threes confidently. He's playing really good defense and really like intuitive rebounding.
Mhm.
But the off-ball offensive movement tonight was also very impressive, because it's like that takes a level of committing to a decision that I think young dudes are probably not naturally going to get in the first year. But he's getting it. And then Travis was doing some, like, when he would bring the ball up, it felt like Lamont was bringing the ball up, at least getting us out of that press, right? Like
It was
that.
quick, yeah.
That didn't happen against Ole Miss,
Okay.
but tonight it did, and that was something that's just like a little bit of continuity can be so valuable when somebody tweaks an ankle in the tournament or whatever. Just having another dude, because right now he's the fourth guy we've gone to as a point guard.
I was really proud of how the guys played after Lamont went down, because it's not like we had a lead. I think it was either tied or we were maybe up by 2. We'd actually just kind of lost. We'd been bouncing around between up 5, up 7, and I think at that point it was down to 2 or maybe even tie game. And so I was thinking like, oh man, here we go. These next couple minutes are going to be big. And they played well enough to keep us up front. We definitely broke it open in the last couple minutes, but
I guess that's the advantage of having older guys, right? Where they're not scared. I'm sure they've experienced something like that before. So cooler heads prevailed. They didn't panic.
Yeah. Have we heard anything about Jackson?
Old brittle bones.
Probably
the old brittle bones, and they get injured now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Have we heard anything about Jackson and those in the wrist and like the prognosis there?
I haven't.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
I don't think so.
He looked like he was having fun tonight on the bench.
One of the coolest moments of the night, I thought, and someone got a great photo of it, was I forget what happened in the game, but Trent Noah ran over and he and Kerr are both like crouching way down, high-fiving, and it's
It was
fantastic.
after his third 3. Yeah, it was after Trent's third 3, I think.
I saw someone send the photo, and it was like, thank God someone had a good angle of that with a camera.
It's been amazing how, like, the past month or so, Ainsley has become so valuable. Like, he started tonight, and as a like 3-and-D and hustle type player, and then Trent Noah is kind of coming into that same type of role. It's very fun to watch, because I think that we've almost gone to a bit bigger of a lineup on average, putting one of those guys at like the 3. And that's, I don't know. It seems to work pretty well against one of these teams that press real hard. So it seems like, he's Mark Pope's cooking.
Yeah, I think at one point tonight they had BG at the 5, Andrew Carr at the 4, and Trent Noah at the 3, and that's a pretty big lineup. But I guess you can do that when you're not too worried about a team that's going to space you out like that. They pretty much just clog in the middle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a neat thing on CBB Analytics. I ran just a combo comparison with Amari and Ansley and Carr and BG. And I really like Ansley. I mean, I think, broadly speaking, I prefer Carr to Ansley. Maybe not in how they're each playing now, but generally speaking. But I really like Ansley playing with Amari and Carr playing with BG better than the alternative. So this current setup, maybe it's just to give Carr a little break, time to get into the swing of the game with his back currently. But I like Ansley starting.
Yeah, I agree.
It also might be just a defensive move too, because Amari's defense is amazing.
Yeah, right.
So you kind of make up for it, because I think even with Carr being like a little bit limited physically from the injury, I think that he does the correct thing on defense, at least.
Always, yeah.
And that's just, it's a tone setting, and he looks bigger out there than I thought he was for some reason. What is he, 6'10"? Is he as tall as Mark Pope?
Who, Carr?
Carr, yeah.
Yeah, Carr's 6'10".
Okay. Yeah. So
Or
that at the
6'11"
4
even, maybe.
with Brandon Garrison is I think that is a good balance there. So,
What's funny is we're about midway through February now, and these are usually the time where a team would look to tighten up their lineup, and our lineup looks like it's getting bigger. Maybe just because we have to because of the injuries. But
By
I'm
default,
interested to see what Pope does with the lineup going forward, because now it's like you're probably gonna have to carve out some minutes for Trent Noah now.
If Trent keeps it up, absolutely. He's looked great recently. We started people to select the effort. I mean, he always hustles for boards. If he's open, he shoots, and he's now 53% 3-point shooter on the season.
Yeah.
He's now 100% free throw shooter on the season after tonight.
That's the mountain in him.
yeah.
Free throws over there.
That's a Mountain
good for
Dew
him.
in his baby bottle.
Yeah, he should shoot it underhand like a real mountain boy.
I love this role for freshmen. I mean, come in, spot minutes when the team needs it, whether it's foul trouble in a game, injury, whatever. And then this is how you develop at like a reasonable pace if you aren't a guy that comes in ready to go day one. And if you're not a Cal freshman, right? Like if you're not a ready to go NBA projected lottery pick kind of guy, and you are going to have a little bit more of a developmental period, this is a great way to sort of ease into it. You get spot minutes through the season, and then now when the team needs you, you get to show that you belong.
Yeah. Trent also was very he was barking at the whoever he was guarding, like, and getting in their face and making gestures and stuff, especially like when like inbounding and stuff. He was very, very aggressive, and that's a big boy too. So I'm sure that was something that they did not expect to happen, which probably throws off their like wings when they had there's no way Rick Barnes was expecting Trent Noah breakout. Everybody else in Kentucky was, apparently, but I don't know.
All right, anything else you guys want to cover on this one before we fire off some Texas takes from the hip?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, Texas leading, not leading. They're Alabama leading Texas right now, looking like going into the half. Texas did beat when they're at home, they did beat Missouri and A&M back to back. So that's concerning because this would be, I think this is our first time going down and playing in Austin, at least to my memory.
Yeah.
But they look to be, I don't know, middle of the pack SEC this year, talent wise. They did lose to Arkansas and they lost to Vandy, but that sounds an awful lot like us.
Which
I
is
believe
still
they also lost at Ole
a
Miss.
top 30 team, which is crazy that one of the off games is still at, oh my gosh, 31st in the net.
How is
It-
Austin? How is their environment? Do they show out for basketball games?
They did when Chris Beard was there. I mean, it was short lived, but like they were hyped for a minute there.
Yeah, what happened with Chris Beard there?
He
He's
took
not
the
still
Ole
there
Miss
no-
job.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Ole Miss has got the morally ambiguous dudes.
Oh,
don't put Lane Kiffin in the same sentence as Chris Beard, man. He can be a dirtbag, but he's not Chris Beard. Come
They
on.
I don't
employed
even know
Hugh
what Chris
Freeze.
Beard did. I don't remember. I just remember him getting fired, and it was something. Was
Well,
it beating
we
his
won't
wife?
say it 'cause
We're
we'll
gonna
bleep
go
it
ahead and
out.
keep it moving. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess one more take is Travis also took some shots tonight. Like as soon as he had a little bit of space, and he hit 2 out of 3 of his threes. So that is
go.
just a threat, right? Like
With
he's
his
dangerous, right?
with his limited ability defensively right now, it's crucial that he does hit a couple shots when he is in like that because he can't just be in that. You know, like he's frankly he did get beat a couple times defensively. It's not the end of the world, but he did make up for that on the offensive end a little bit. And I feel like that really, like I said, the threes between Garrison, Noah, and Perry were
Garrison's was
so.
ridiculous. Yeah,
He
I
still
think
made
didn't
cash.
even hit the net. It was just
I-
splintered.
I actually one of his earlier ones looked good to me too. I thought it was good. It didn't. I think it was long rebound off the rim or something. But some people grab their face when he shoots it. And it's like I don't know, man. I like it. If I mean, defenses always know Amari's not going to take the shot. Amari does so much good for us, but
Yeah.
I think he's attempted 1-3 this year, maybe 2. Shot clock expiring, just desperation heave, not a real shot. And so to have someone who may take it, even if they're a 30-ish% shooter, that at least changes how defenses have to guard him, which I think going into next year is great.
Especially running the offense at the top of the key, like because it's just the big man up top makes it where you have like you can pass like a good passer, and you're taking out your least efficient shooter, kind of from the ball movement there. But if BG is like even if he he's getting better. Like his shots look more. He takes better ones, and then they also are going in more. So this is something that if he develops it like as a 35-36% type thing next year, that's a whole new archetype of a Mark Pope offense where you have a NBA physical specimen potential running and doing the orchestration of the offense, but then also if you don't press up on him, and even if you do, he's so big, it's gonna be hard for a point guard to not let him shoot a three. So it's just like even in desperation time, especially.
One other note on the BG shooting 3 thing is that like I said, there's a narrative where people don't want him to shoot threes. That's not your shot. That's not where you're here for. Don't take it. Meanwhile, people are also clamoring, yelling, Andrew Carr, you're open. Take the shot. Well, at this point, Andrew Carr is a 29.7% three-point shooter. BG is a 30.4% three-point shooter.
Wow.
So BG's and volume is,
Sure.
I mean, Andrew Carr is maybe double, but that's 40 shots versus 20, 7 makes versus 11. I mean, it's not too far off.
I think we should just.
And I'm saying Carr shoot as much as he wants, so
Yeah.
BG too.
So stretch
I think
5.
we should just recruit like a Jokic type. Why
Yeah.
not just get like a Jokic?
Just get
to
a
play
few.
outside. Yeah,
I bet
It'll-
5 Jokic's would be insane in a Mark Pope offense.
we're Kentucky. All right.
Yeah.
It'll match
Make 'em say
people's
no.
other requests. Like, give me a point guard like Lamont that defends in the same way, but is better offensively. A guard like Brea who defends better. Just to take all of our guys and eliminate their flaws, and we'll have the perfect team.
I would
It's
say
still pitch.
Just go for
There's-
those guys. Come on.
4 of the top 5 plays tonight were Kobe Brea, and that was the steal that I thought was going to be a dunk on the baseline was just amazing. The lob to Ortega,
That was sick. Yeah.
and then the threes that were just like, I'm going to do this to you, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Those FU threes are my favorite for sure.
Yeah.
He nuked him.
Hey, how about we basically had a turnover tonight, and then we actually did get back on defense and caused Tennessee to miss the dunk. Like we actually did the thing that I was
Andrew
complaining
Carr.
about last week. Andrew Carr, let's go. We're seeing improvement week to week, which is not something we've always had here.
Yeah. And we're hurt too. So it's like we're getting physically less capable trying to grind our way through this freaking conference and still getting better. Making the adjustments that we need to make. And it seems like everybody's kids are going to get frustrated doing a basketball game. So there's always going to be, screen grabs of whatever, but everybody seems to be pretty happy and not
I
just
ought to
like,
be.
yeah, not just like,
Shit.
well, yeah,
I
but
hope they are.
Top 5 win.
but even
Yeah, it doesn't get a whole lot
That's-
better. There's not a whole lot of upward mobility from there.
yeah,
That's
but
our
there is having 25-point game yourself or whatever, feeling like you could have took more shots,
No,
all that.
I get it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I like everyone seems happy. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. I think
Uh,
Texas is going to be interesting. It's another one of those talented teams. I think they have a few NBA prospects.
Between Texas and Vandy, I think reasonably, if you can go, it provided, let's say Jackson and Lamont are out for those two, I think you should reasonably expect to go probably 1-1 to probably drop Texas and win the Vandy game. And let's get everybody back and healthy so we can make Ben cry when we win at Alabama.
Honestly, I think you got to get both of them. Watching Texas play, I think they're much worse than Vanderbilt, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe it's recency bias
Well,
because they did just play, but I think,
Vandy's
and
at
also they're
Rupp.
getting their, huh?
Yeah.
The Vandy game's at Rupp, which is why I think I like our
Sure.
chances better with that.
I mean, Texas is going to likely be coming off their third straight loss. They're getting destroyed right now at halftime, by like 20. I don't know.
We might be their fourth.
hmm?
Oh, no. If we beat them, we would be their 4th straight loss, which
Yeah.
seems kind of like a big ask.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I still think I think they go 2-0. Is all I'm saying. But I agree. 1-1 with the injuries would be fine. I mean,
Yeah.
the league's crazy. It's still a top 30 team. You're talking about going playing on the road.
Probably
so
for the first
AP
time ever, too. The
The-
first
the-
time Kentucky's coming to town for Texas, I think the people are going to get up for that one.
Yeah, probably. I guess I don't know how much of a basketball city Austin is. I mean, I know that I know that people say that, I mean, don't think of a lot of SEC college towns as basketball cities, and we know they've all
I don't think if
traditionally
Texas is
gotten
an SEC
up
basketball
or
city.
yeah, that's fair. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
I think Texas's football team is too good right now for them to care about basketball. Like,
You guys ready to see Arch
so
Manning
long.
on the sidelines, though?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Wow,
going to happen.
Manning.
They're bringing Sark out at halftime.
One thing that's kind of wild about this season at this point is that so the AP poll came out on Monday. We currently, after this Tennessee win, have 4 top 5 wins and an opportunity for 2 more, which is just insane. I mean, it's this league is stacked, and that's really contributing to it. But some people are saying, "Oh man, I wish we played in the ACC." Like I don't. Yeah, you'd coast, but how boring. I mean,
We lived
winning
that.
all the time is fun. 2014, 2015, it's not that it isn't fun to win like that.
Yeah.
But also, I like the high ground of saying, look at our strength of schedule. Look at the strength of schedule of the teams we're playing. And not every year is going to be like this in the SEC. But man, this is fun.
Especially with football going to take over NIL eventually because all the SEC schools are stupid and think that they're going to beat Alabama or Georgia, you know, it's just like,
I mean,
or LSU. But yeah, it's like I had this thought earlier about this Kentucky team. Like we have these top 5 wins against like the 3 archetypes too, where you have the Florida where they're shooting the lights out, right? Like that's an offensive juggernaut of a team. You have Tennessee, who's one of the if not the best defense in college basketball, and then
Houston, yeah.
Duke, who's kind of more of a just well-rounded type,
Both.
whatever. So we have
That's a good point.
proved Mark Pope this year has proved this roster can beat the best of any archetype of team, in my opinion. So what does that make us? If not better than everybody else.
On our best day, we can beat anybody. That's for sure.
Yep.
I love playing in the SEC this year, and I would hate playing in the ACC because we have experienced that before of us being sort of just the marquee program for an entire conference, and everyone else is just stinky.
And before anyone says some shit about losing to Clemson, that's what we're talking about. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, you're gonna drop 2. I mean, Duke just lost to Clemson. Like, anyways, what I've said since, I mean, I'm pretty sure we have this recorded. What I love about this is we know exactly how good Kentucky is because we've seen them play against the other most talented teams in the country. You'll be hard-pressed to find a team as battle-tested as ours by the time the tournament comes around. Because
outside of the SEC.
Years, because in previous years, when we were just beaten up, even like the John Wall team, which we knew was good, what was our really big marquee wins before going into the tournament? Like we beat UConn, we beat North Carolina, like Duke, like those weren't. I mean, they weren't the world beaters that it looks like we're playing almost week in and week out right now. So you don't have to have those doubts in the back of your mind. You might because I guess you've seen the team lose, but we've also seen them beat like the best teams that college basketball has to offer right now. And we know on any given night we can beat them.
We've also seen them grow from each loss. Like there's always something that happens in the loss that is kind of like the Achilles heel of that game. And we see the commitment to fixing that. Or whatever the heck Mark Pope has done for the defensive side the past 2 games is just ridiculous because that they were talking about us like we were not playing defense. Like amazing offense.
And sometimes it felt like
at
it.
times, I was gonna say at times that first half against Ole Miss, we really weren't, dude. But I think it's a commitment to just the effort. You see every guy, they're playing connected, they're on a string, they're talking. That's one big thing you see. The bench is up and at it. They're really encouraging it. Like you can tell it's been the focus. Like that's when they get those stops early in the game, the place is going nuts. So
there's a lot of decisions to be made in like on ball, off ball, whatever. A lot of decisions to be made in this systematic approach, and those decisions have to be made with conviction, or they won't be made fast enough to keep up with whatever the pace of the other team is going to be. So, but to start seeing like the bench guys starting to do that, and for the starters to get better, like Amari has been ridiculous the entire SEC slate. Now Lamont's been hurt, Carr's been hurt, but Kobe Brea's been he can take over a game. Jackson's hurt, but Jackson's had those games where he just like took it to the other team. I thought this would have been one of those games if he was going to play, but
I was when he got ruled out. I still felt good about our prediction that just outscore them, they can't keep up. But I felt really, really good about Lamont guarding Ziegler again because he did so well the first time. Mm-hmm. And it's not just like not necessarily just like how you held him to 1 of 11 or whatever, but as watching it, I mean, he was stuffed. Jackson's arms were just so long keeping him from doing anything he wanted. Jackson was so committed to stand flat on his feet, not getting airborne, and I was really hoping to have that again. And so to see us win despite not having that is great, but also knowing that Jackson is capable of that, also great.
Yeah, it was weird. So that's one thing is it felt like today the defense, if you're guarding Z, you have to stick. And you can't bite on the pump fakes or whatever. But the other guys weren't doing that kind of like baiting on the offensive side. They're not quite the masters of baiting.
Hot.
So the other defensive dudes like on our team were overcommitting, but it was working. So I mean, that just seems like something very specific that they had to coach, and they did, and it worked. So
Breaking news. Mark Pope says he thinks Jackson and Butler will get healthy before March.
Great.
So, I hope so.
That to me
yeah.
said they're not playing
Yeah.
the next 2 games. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, that to me also says Kirk Reese is not coming back this season.
No.
If he's not throwing Kerr in there. So, all right, at least something definitive to take away there.
I'll forever love Kirk Reese though.
What a time
I
to be
think
alive.
that I don't know. I think we win every game from here until May. That's my
Okay.
prediction.
Oh May.
Here until May.
I don't remember when it ends.
April.
We do a Kentucky basketball podcast.
I know I'm used to going so late. It's warm down here,
All right, fellas. Any closing thoughts?
No.
All right.
Wait, horns down. How do you do horns down?
Oh yeah, man. Let's go. All right. Well, I love you all very, very much. Thank you for joining the Catechin. For Ben, Braden, Kale, I'm Jared. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
As you love ball and balls, it's cool with us. In the cuts, but I can do but ain't changed a thing. He's still in the crew.